What is up, winning team? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody that is watching. Now, there is a chance that I'm going to upset a lot of people in the upcoming videos because I have a lot to say about what's going on in the world. And you see the difference between me and others. You see the difference between us over here and those guys over there in the losing team is we're not just talkers, we're doers. Right? When things are going downhill, when we see problems and we see issues, we do something about it. We don't just complain on the internet and wait for somebody else to handle it, which is exactly why I don't really speak about a lot of things in society anymore, because I realize that people are fickle. People are so fickle and fake. And that's something that I've been thinking long and hard about the last couple of weeks. And there's just been so much that's gone on in the world recently. I mean, let's just go ahead and start with, we won't even get into this because I don't need to say anything, because everybody should have been having the wake up calls that they needed to have. Excuse me, Kamala Harris is cringy. She's cringy. We're not even going to talk about her. What I want to talk about, let's talk about this Lord's Supper thing, right, that everybody's talking about, because as per the Christians are mad, like, why do people only make fun of Christianity, da 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 da. But a lot of these people saying that, I'm like, how many of you in your normal day-to-day life, when you have average opportunities, are actually going to people in your life? Are you actually having an impact in the communities around you? Because I feel like it's really easy for us all to complain on the internet and to be all upset about everything when we're not actually being held accountable to doing anything. And this is why I don't want to hear anything about, oh, this is the end times, the book of Revelation, because you're not even living the rest of the Bible in the rest of your days. Or whenever coinkedinkly, the time that we're waiting for the return of the Lord, again, we're waiting for the Savior to come, we're not a fighting force who fights alongside the Lord. And this is why, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've come to harbor such disgust and disappointment with the adult population. And I've been fighting for my life for it not to turn into hatred. Because I'm like, we are the stupidest people of all. We are so selfish. We are so convenient in our own lives. We care about something when it matters about us. This is why I think everybody's a fraud. I think it's all a fraud. It's all this big fake fraudulence. We pretend that we are this and we're this person and with this, we care about this, we care about that. But realistically, you only care about the things that affect you. Those are the things you care about. That's why it's the children who are being abandoned at this point. Why? Because no one's fighting for the kids, because the kids aren't concerned with the adult population, because the kids, oh my gosh, it's windy, the kids aren't come through Holy Spirit. Anyway, the kids are not, in your position of being an adult, being a man, being a woman, being this, being that, whatever community you're a part of. I'm sick of all the communities. I don't care if you're left wing, right wing. I don't care if you're black, white, avatar. I don't care if you're 30. I don't care if you're 25. I don't care if you're 100. I don't care if you're 47. It doesn't matter. Everybody, to me, from where I'm sitting, and I'm just going to be very real and honest, is just caring about the things that only directly affect them, and therefore all of this, like, acting as if any of us actually give a damn about anybody, is all fake. Not to mention the fact that people don't really say what they mean. There are certain things that I've started to, like, twig, and I'm like, I hope that I'm wrong. Because if I'm right, this is a horrible place to live, this planet. If I'm right that people are really as fake as I think that they are, i.e., what do I mean by fake? I don't mean going out there and, like, I don't know, whatever. What I mean, let me just be specific about what I mean. I mean, like, if you're in a group setting, this is why I don't want to have conversations with people. This is why I don't want to talk to people. The reason I'm sitting here, right, and I'm so inconvenienced right now, is all the other places I would have wanted to sit that were actually in, like, proper nature, I can't sit in because they're cutting everything down. So now everybody's everywhere. And I don't want to talk to anybody. You know why I don't want to talk to anybody? I don't want to talk to anybody because it's all fake and fraudulent. People are going to adjust what they're saying based on a few factors. Number one, what they assume or perceive about me. Second, what they assume or perceive about themselves. What they assume or perceive, I will think, or they should look like, or how society will make them fit in. Because like I said, this pride thing is something that I really didn't realize was as big of a deal as when I brought it up. This whole idea of like how people get pride from being a part of a group, and it's like it becomes people's identity, that like I identify as a black woman. So for example, we had this with this Kamala Harris thing. And by the way, guys, I want to be very clear, I don't say this enough anymore in my videos. Everything that I'm saying, the reason why I pick groups that I'm a member of is because I'm not here trying to accuse others. I'm not like the rest of a lot of the adult population, always making everybody else the problem, waiting for somebody else to fix my issues, and I don't have a victim mentality. So I'm evaluating the groups I'm a part of because I'm a part of them, and as a part of them, I want to take the responsibility to do better. So that's why I specifically talk about my age, my gender, my this, my that, because that's the groups I'm a part of. Those are the groups I'm accountable for. It'd be very easy for me to sit here and do what other people do, like, oh, the middle-aged white man, and oh, the this and that and the other, and these other people. It would be so easy for me to do that, because then that doesn't hold any accountability to me. And that's what I'm saying with everybody. It's so easy to point the finger at the other person, because that's what the devil taught us in the garden, because that's what Satan taught us in the garden, to accuse, because that's what he is. He's the accuser. We become like by like whatever wisdom and whatever parenthood we came from. That's why the Bible literally says they are like their father, the devil. They are like their father, the devil. You behave as that because you're behaving from in which the household and the kingdom you belong to over there, right? So just to be clear about that, because I don't want people to think, oh, I just hate my own kind. No, I'm doing what I do with myself, which is I take a very hard look in the mirror and I have to say what needs to change, because that's what winners do. Winners don't point the finger and are not sore losers and like, oh, I would have won if it wasn't for this, and oh, I would have won, but she cheated, he cheated, whatever. No. You should win so well, so strongly, that it doesn't matter what the other person is doing anyway. Okay? So we'll start there. Anyway, this girl was like, and she's got to be older than me. I hope she isn't, but she looks like she is. Black girl. She's asked, so who are you voting for? Kamala Harris. Why? Because she's a black woman. Have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing? Because she's a black woman. First of all, that's illogical thinking, because anybody you vote for should be the person supporting black people if that's what you care about. But you're not even a logical thinker. You're just got this weird sense of pride that as long as it's black, it's good, because that's all you want to be held up to. You only want to be held to the account of, well, I call myself a part of this group, therefore I want to be seen as a part of this group, because that's what the world is. This is what I'm saying, the world is fake. It's the same as Christians, and it's the same as this fake and phony version of love that exists on this here planet that I'm sitting on, right? You say you love somebody, and just because you've said it, even if your actions are completely the opposite, even if what you're doing, your actual impact is having the opposite effect, oh, you said you love them, so that's enough. It's all this. This is one of my favorite Bible verses, 1 John 3:18. Little children, let us love, not just in word, but in deed and in truth. And I am going to get that tattooed across my neck, because I really want to get that tattooed across my neck. I'm not going to lie to you at this point. I don't care what anybody has to say, and I don't care what anybody thinks about that. Honestly. Because why would I care in such a weak, spineless, bitter, selfish world? I don't know why Jesus died for us. I honestly don't, because I don't deserve it. I'll start with myself. I for sure don't deserve it. I for sure don't. And the last 2 weeks, I've been ebbing and flowing between absolutely so much just disappointment and disgust with the world, and then also that just being at the same time juxtaposed with overwhelmed by how real God's love actually is, that he actually loves us, as disgusting as we are as people. We are so unbelievably selfish. It is unbelievable. Have you guys ever stopped to think about the fact that Adam and Eve were in a garden, right? I don't know how many trees are around me. Right now I'm surrounded by a number of forests I could walk to, right? They're even cutting down all the trees. Heck, maybe if they'd waited, some of these folks who are cutting down the trees here would have cut that freaking tree down as well. These guys could have had anything they wanted, but they wanted the one thing they were not allowed, because intrinsically as humans we are selfish and we want to do whatever we want to do. And the only difference, this is why the only difference is how much resources you have at hand to get away with it. That's why you find these rich and powerful people. It's not that rich and powerful people are weird. It's that people are weird, and when they become rich and powerful, they can get away with it. Because now they can pay for 500 lawyers if they get caught doing weird stuff with children behind the scenes. They can pay for 100 lawyers. They can pay for 100 lawyers if they do whatever, if they scam people, whatever. They can do it now. It's not that these people came out from nowhere. It's us. We are the very same people that can turn into that. That's why money, power, and fame, it changes people. Anybody who's had any amount of success, and I realized this myself, because I was thinking, why is it that a lot of my experiences have been the way that they've been, right? Because you know how society will always say stuff like, if everything happens to you, you're the common denominator. And you know what I realized is the real common denominator? My success. A couple of days ago, sorry, I was just checking that there wasn't anybody that was like in the way of, anyway, I really wish I could film in the middle of the night, but anyways, I digress. What a mood kill. Anyway, the Homo sapien, that is. So, I was thinking about this the other day. Because the other day, I was having one of these conversations with one of these people that I would deem a loser. And it's funny because they actually laughed at me for having the bollocks, I guess, to call my channel The Winning Team. And they were like, oh, and you call your channel The Winning Team. And I was like, the facts are what the facts are. Comparatively, and I'm not showing up. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about the difference between Pride. You guys got to go watch that Pride 1.5-hour video if you haven't seen it. The difference between you having self-confidence and being arrogant or prideful, whatever, is whether there is any truth behind what you're doing. Pride is delusional. Because for Satan to even think he's going to come up against God and in any way that's going to work out well, for Adam and Eve to have thought that in any way what they were doing was going to work out well is deluded, right? That's delusion. And that's why delusion is such a strong part of narcissism as well, because narcissists, this is where society again is wrong. People think narcissists love themselves. No, they fake like they love themselves, but actually they hate themselves more than anything. Actually, they feel the most insecure. This is what happens when you actually study things and you don't just say stuff. And again, this is what I'm saying about this world. Everything is whatever it wants to be. People just use words and words just become whatever. And then people say, how can you say? And then people look at things like language, whatever, right? Being able to speak good English as some kind of a skill. Bro, Riz is now in the dictionary. So am I not speaking good English? Exactly. Oh, we mean a strong, but you see, there's always all these connotations, and depending on where you go, I was thinking about the word nigger. You guys never hear me say that, right? I was thinking, I'm going to bring back saying it with the hard R. Because sometimes I think to the black folks, we got to actually stop acting like slaves. Because at this point, we're looking so weak and so stupid all the time, right? That we're acting like slaves. We're acting like we are the lesser citizens. We're acting like it. Yep, we got all this BLM money. We got all of this sympathy and whatever, and we still continue. Loser. This is what I'm saying. And you want to be proud of being black. Be proud of something you did. That's why I ask people, what did you do for black people? Because I've done stuff for black people. I was working in London. I had my own business, my own professional dance company, where I had girls, particularly of black girls in particular, right? After a while, I decided that I wasn't sure if I was comfortable doing something like that was based on race. But the reason why I did it is because I saw that I knew from my own experience that it was hard to get a high level of good dance training in multiple different dance styles. And I was sick of seeing black women, all that we're known for doing is being able to move our hips and shake our asses, right? So I was like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to create jobs. I'm going to do something myself. I was out there working with other companies where we are actually giving jobs to these young men who are on the streets. And we are actually going and showing up to their court with them when their own parents don't show up. And we are defending them and going to the police station and talking to them about what's going on and making sure that they've had some food to eat and all of this stuff. We're doing the damn work. And we're seeing changes. I'm seeing changes. I'm seeing things happening. So when somebody says, about calling me a winner, I'm like, do you know how many things I've done that I've won? Where I've defeated the kingdom of darkness? Do you know how many children, children who were told, oh, they're never going to be able to do this, they're never going to be able to do that? Do you know how many of those children I've taught who are now comfortably, I can't wait for results day. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for results day because I can't wait for my kids to get their results, and I can't wait to look the freaking education system in the face and say, screw you. Screw you for your losing mentality with the younger generation. So I'd be doing stuff. Yeah, when people say, oh, Christians and Christianity and science, they don't match up. I don't argue. I don't worry. I don't come. I study. You know that I had this moment. I remember when I was like younger, I was a teenager, and we went out and we did like some evangelism, whatever. And I was all young and, you know, trying my best to be a good Christian. And I remember there was a dude that we spoke to, and he was knowledgeable. Let me tell you, this guy was knowledgeable about religion. And I realized that I reached above my pay grade. And the lesson that was learned that day is I had to walk away, and I had two options. I could walk away in pride, cuss him out, say Jesus is better anyways, because I think he was Muslim, whatever. Or learning curve, because this man actually had very good, reasonable questions that deserved answers. Answers that the Christian community was not prepared to give. And therefore, him being more knowledgeable about his beliefs alone was a reason why he was in favor of what he believed. And I understand it. Because you know what? Fair enough, that makes sense. You are asking people about something they believe and they can't even explain it to you. So that's why I do the work of reading my own Bible for myself. And that's why I do the work of studying other religions for myself. Because I'm a winner in this life. I'm a winner and I'm going to be on the winning side. And all that it is, this channel, by the way, guys, if you're new here, is you can either hop on board or we're not even going to pay attention to you over there. And that's when this person like to me, you call your channel a winning team. And I was thinking, have you seen? And that's just things that I've done out of the kindness of my heart. That's not even the trophies, the medals, the competitions, the certificates, you name it. Sports, entertainment industry, you name it, science. How many people can say that they've written a scientific paper worthy of publishing? I want to know. Yeah. How many people can call themselves an award-winning choreographer? I want to know. Yeah. How many people are actually prepared to debate with people about God? Do you know that I talk to people about God all the time? We're in random places and we have the most interesting conversations. The other day I was having this conversation with this dude at the pub, right? And I don't really go to the pub, but sometimes I went, actually, funnily enough, I went there for breakfast because I, for some reason, really wanted to go to there for breakfast, right? I go there for breakfast, and as what happens is what always happens is we end up getting into conversation because he had the most beautiful artwork on both of his legs, like tattoos, and on one side it was like a depiction of heaven, and on his other leg it was a depiction of hell, and he was talking about how he's going to get the final section, and the artwork was crazy good. Now, that alone would have meant most of the Christian community is supposed to be loving and caring, whatever, would have been like, we're not going to talk to him, that heathen, he needs to. We just talked about his tattoos, and I came to understand his thinking of the Lord. You see, this is what happens with me. I get somewhere with people. I get there because then they feel comfortable enough to talk. And I told him, funnily enough, I was like, yeah, I'm thinking of getting a tattoo. He's like, what tattoo? I was like, my favorite Bible verse. That started a conversation. And then we got to the usual conversations that people ask. Why is there suffering in the world if God is real? If this is this, and guess who has prepared themselves to answer said questions and works to do so that I don't look like a weak, spineless force while saying that my God is the most high God. Are you kidding me? This is why all these Christian folks are like, oh, whatever, like, oh, we're upset that this happened. You guys are the same ones who have been going to these freaking creepalicious preachers and pastors. That's some little girl, by the way. I love kids. I actually love kids. The way I would wish I could scream right now. perfected the art of silent screaming. Every day I silent scream probably about 10 times. So if I could scream like that right now, gosh, oh, I would need that. But what was I saying? Yeah, we're all upset about all this stuff. You're the ones putting these pastors and preachers above God. You're upset that so and so fell and so this, and this pastor was found out to do that, and this leader was found to do this. Friend, your God is supposed to be God. Your God is supposed to be God. Yes, we love the men and women of God, and we support them, and we find our own, sector of the flock, and whatever, and your own home churches and all of that. But it's like, and then you get to the point where when it's somebody you don't like, when it's somebody you think is of the world, oh, we are ready to jump down their throats. As soon as somebody turns to Jesus, oh my gosh, the Christian community will jump down their throats about every single tiny detail. And then you and your big pastor who's put himself on a pedestal, who's standing in front of a pulpit, calling himself a man of God, calling himself a leader, standing and taking the responsibility to stand in front of a flock. And we want to talk about, but let's have some grace. Let's have some grace. Your grace is selfish. You don't want to let go of your God. That's what it is. It's not that you want to have some grace, because if you wanted to have some grace, you're having grace for the people who are out there in the world. The Bible says in Matthew 9, chapter 9, that Jesus looked upon the world and we were hopeless and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And he went out healing and delivering and casting out demons. And he said, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. And we will be sitting here again, oh my gosh, the Last Supper thing. And there was the horse from Revelations 1. The horse from Revelations 1 was at the Olympics. You don't even believe in the Holy Spirit. You don't even believe in the freaking Holy Spirit. Sorry, Holy Spirit. You don't even believe. You're not even walking in the power of God yourself. Because where are you doing deliverance? And where are you doing healing? And what communities have you walked into that are maybe not the nicest or the most comfortable or the most lovely that you have gone and worked in? Where have you shown the love of God to the people who need the love of God? Not just another little club where we all clap hands together. This is why I think that the modern church is just like the Pharisees. It's crazy. It's the religious spirit, just like the Pharisees. We all come together. We all look cute. What's my outfit for church today? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I get it. It's nice. I think it's nice to incorporate when it's genuine and it's a genuine expression. I think it's great, that we're incorporating that being a Christian is also we're still humans, like we're not some whatever. But it gets to the point where it's like it's all just this big parade where, and like even the other day, I was listening to this girl who I like. She's probably the same age as I am, right? But really like her. I like her content. She's a lot more vanilla than I am in terms of like the types of things that she says. She's so just like, come with me today while I go to walk with the Lord and talk about such and such and such and such, and I like it because I like wholesome people. I like that there's optimistic people out there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so then she says, oh guys, I know some of you are wondering what happened because I alluded to like my testimony, like how I came to know the Lord. And the thing is, it's just that I don't really want to share too much because of what's going on. And I was just like, every time we need the same issues we're going through are the same issues the world is going through. And that is why the Lord allows these things to happen so that there's somebody who can actually relate and be like, I hear you, I get you. This is how the Lord brought me out of that. That's why I love that people think that I'm a godly person. I'm like, listen, let me tell you about where we started because this is a miracle. This is the miracle. Not us coming in and clapping our hands together and like raising our hands and even just some of that stuff. I'm like, a lot of that is performative, my friend. When I was younger, right, in church, I remember the day that I said to the Lord in my mind, I was standing in church. I was probably like a teenager, probably maybe 13. And I just said to the Lord, I said, God, I'm not going to raise my hands unless I really feel like raising my hands. And since then, I don't. If anyone says, oh, raise your hands to the Lord, and if I don't feel like doing it, my spirit isn't telling me to do it, and by my spirit, I mean the Holy Spirit, I'm not going to do it. Because you know why? Otherwise, it's performative. Who am I doing it for? Just so that I'm still a part of the group. And this is what I'm saying. It becomes a big, huge club. I don't want to be a part of some club. And again, it's the pride thing all over again. It takes us all the way back to the pride thing. You want something or somewhere to feel like you belong, to give yourself a sense of identity, to give yourself a sense of validation. I'm a part of this group. Can I tell you, I get what people mean when they say, when you lose everything, the most dangerous person is somebody who has nothing to lose, because that's where I'm at. I don't trust anybody. I don't care what anyone has to say. I don't care. The only people that have managed to make it into the waiting room is you guys on the winning team. Where I'm a bit like, maybe I can't completely cut off adults forever. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you guys that it stresses me out, because boy, would I love to. I would love to. By the way, I finally got my favorite lip gloss back, which I buy for £1 in Poundland because it is perfect. I've tried all these other ones, and this is perfect. This is the best lip gloss I've ever, of all the lip glosses I've bought, all the money I've spent in the past, or people have told me, this right here. Anyway, so here we go again. We don't want to ruffle feathers. Things are happening. Yes, we're going to post things online, and we're going to, in the comfortability and the safety of the solitude and the isolation and the privacy of our homes, be talking about this happened and we can't believe this and God bless America. Even all this God bless America right-footed people or whatever. Again, pick and choose. We talk about things for a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh, P. Diddy was this. God save Trump. God save Trump. All of this is going to last a couple of weeks. And then we're all just going to find something else to be divisive about. Because I'm at this point like, are we actually trying to do something, or are we just divisive? Because it feels like we're just divisive. It feels like we just want to be against each other. I have never been more disappointed at the state of politics in my life. And obviously my life is very short, right? And I'm the oldest that I've ever been. So of course I would be the most disappointed now, because I'm going to be the most knowledgeable about it now. But I'm like, is this really where we've ended up? And when I hear people debating, it's not even like we're debating upon proper real life. Like, I love when I hear people talking about actual physical things, like what's happening at the state and the United States border is a big thing that I feel like is getting overlooked. But no, instead we'll be arguing because we want to be able to kill children inside our bodies, and we want to be able to keep it. And it's like, and you know, I thought about another irony as well in this thing I say to you about how people are inherently selfish and they just do what suits them. People will say, right, we're out here saying, oh, we don't want to like kill animals and whatever. And I asked a question. I've been starting to ask questions to people. I was like, okay, you're vegan, you want to protect the planet, animals have feelings. What about babies? And what about their choice? And what about their body and their choice? Matter of fact, what about the unborn children cells that they've used to put in all these vaccinations they've been giving us? What about that? Are you comfortable with that being injected inside of you? Because maybe you're not ingesting any meat and any fish and anything, or any eggs or any honey. Because you know the top tier vegans, they don't eat honey either, if you didn't know. But you're injecting yourself with the cells of unborn babies. And doctors are more and more being found that they are telling women lies, pregnant women lies, so that they get abortion. Oh, your child's going to have this, your child's going to have that. And then it turns out to be false. Why? Because they just want the cells. They don't care about you either. No one actually cares about anyone. It's all fake. Like, they don't care about you. They want your cells because the cells of unborn babies are the most valuable cells they can use, because they can turn them into anything. They can turn them into anything. So, one of which those being vaccines. Used in vaccines. And I'm not even just talking, by the way, about the most recent one. I'm talking about for a while this has been going on. People don't know about this. And while you're all hearing your feelings because you want to be able to be whoring about and just killing off babies whenever you feel like it, right? And you're arguing about that. And then on the other side, it's like, oh, these women today. And then, oh my gosh, everybody's arguing. And guess what? That's all the enemy wanted, just like Adam and Eve. He doesn't care what we're arguing about. He cares that we argue. Because as long as we're arguing, we're distracted. And especially if it's us as men and women, we're distracted from the one thing we should be putting all our faith, our hope, and our time and energy into, which is the children. Because the children are the ones who need us to help them. They're the ones who need us to guide them down the right path. That's why when people are like, I don't know what's going on with the generation today, I'm like, how did your generation turn out? And the generation before, and the generation before, and the generation before? How is it that you know how to build how is it that you know how to fix your car and change the oil and how to build a wardrobe? How is it that you know how to sew a dress and do this and do that? How is it that you know how to do that? How is it that you learn how to cook? How is it that you learn how to do your laundry? How is it that you learn those things? Oh wait, somebody probably told you. Probably somebody of the adult variety, either people around you, your parents, your aunties, uncles, grandparents, teachers, people in the community, coaches. Somebody told you what to do. So what happened to the younger generation? They've been left, just like this little girl that I just heard screaming, just doing whatever they want to do. And then you know who raises them? Weird, woke teachers who are either woke or a lot of them very bitter. A lot of very bitter teachers out there. And this is something that the older generations don't realize is actually happening. There's a lot of really bitter teachers. I had this situation with a grown adult the other day, not the other day, a couple of weeks ago. When I was teaching a grown adult, I said this, a grown adult had to do maths to apply for the next stage of their job. So anyway. And when this grown adult had to do this, the teacher was being so rude in the feedback. Bearing in mind, they'd got 2 out of 3 marks on this particular question. And I'm like, and the teacher's written, don't mean to sound rude, but this is how they would respond in the exam. This is how the examiner would mark your exam. I'm like, first of all, she got 2 out of 3 marks. So it shows that she understands something, and there's probably just a slight little tweak of help that she needs. She's not finished with her lessons yet. She's yet to actually go forth and do the exam. The real exam, that was just a mock exam. And in fact, it was her first mock exam. So for her to have done as well as she did in her first mock exam was already amazing. Third of all, she's not going to do well. Or fourth of all, I don't know what number we're on. It's not going to help by making her feel like trash about herself. That's not going to motivate her. And lastly, that's a lie, because who gets to see their paper again? I'm talking about in the UK system, because once we do our exam papers, they get sent off. So right now they're all at stupid specification whatevers, right? Getting marked mostly by computers and AI. So we discovered, thanks to the video AQA sent the parents, it's been sending around. But anyway, it's one of the exam boards. And then you just get a piece of paper with your marks on it. The only reason you're getting that paper back, first of all, you have to pay for it. Second of all, is your teacher or you will have to request it. And a lot of schools won't even pay for you to get the exam back. Now, I'm not even going to get into all the other issues I've noticed, such as mistakes in mark schemes, such as a whole bunch of other stuff. So no, she's never going to have seen those remarks. She's never going to have seen what the examiner would have written. In fact, the examiner wouldn't have written anything. All the examiner would have done is draw a neat line through where it says 3 for 3 marks and put a 2 next to it. Because ain't nobody even going to see that. And actually, they ain't got time for that, because they got to be marking for like the whole generation of kids doing that exam right now. You, as an angry, bitter person, wanted to take an opportunity to take your anger out on someone. And that is one of the biggest losing mentality things. And this whole thing I'm saying to you, of people just wanting to take their anger out and take their frustration out on somebody else, rather than hold yourself accountable, rather than change your own life. It's deluded. It's delusion. This is why when I was told this the other day, I said to this person, this is how the situation went down, right? And it's so funny that they had the audacity to try and say, and you call yourself your child of the winning team. I want to see any of my haters beat me. I want to see it. Because listen, you do not poke the bear. Seriously, mess around and find out. But anyway, so this is how the situation went down. I was like, some people are just different. I'm minding my business, right? I'm minding my business. Bearing in mind, I haven't seen this person, right? I haven't even I've had like a very short conversation with this person, because I was already going to be going out and getting some food and stuff. So, I was like, oh, I contacted them basically to ask if they wanted anything, because that's what I do, man. I hate that being a person who looks out for your people is a bad thing in this world. So I'm saying everything that I've done that should be good and should work out for some kind of benefit has only backfired in my face. So anyway, that was the conversation at hand, right? That was it. Cool. Hours later, this person now contacts me and says they want us to meet up. So I knew where this was going to go, but I knew I was going to go because I was like, I'm going so that I can have a full breadth of what this person is like right here and now in July 2024, so that I will not let anyone say anything to me when I cut them the freak off. So that's why I went. I knew what was going to happen because I'm the easy target, right? I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to hear your opinion. You're going to shout at me. You're going to call me every name in the book, and I'm going to forgive you because I'm a forgiving person. And I do it on purpose because I let people take so many chances, right? So that no one can tell me I didn't give them enough chances. That's why when people are like, "Oh, you don't understand. You didn't understand," I'm like, listen, I gave about 10 times the number of chances you would have given. And the only reason I'm even still here where I'm at is because I just can't afford to deal with that. It's not even affecting me on an emotional level anymore. I just can't afford to have that. That's just a waste of my time. I'd rather stare at the wall. And I told them that. I was like, by the way, I'd rather stare at the wall than be in this conversation. So anyway, all of this stuff about how I said, and I had one simple question that I wanted to ask. I was like, how is it that we went from the last time I've seen you, everything was fine. You haven't said anything about anything at all. Nothing has happened. You've called me and you're now shouting at me and you now have all these problems that you need to talk about with me. So I said, what was I wanted to know what was the catalyst today. Because I've just been minding my business. I haven't seen you. It's weird. We go on and on and on. You're like this. The problem with you is you don't take accountability for anything. And then I realized they were projecting. And I was like, oh, is this what projecting is? It was actually a really fun little lesson because I was just sitting there and I didn't care because I already know what I know. So I didn't care. So I was just listening for scientific purposes. And it was actually really cool to see somebody actually projecting because I don't do stuff like that. So to watch somebody in action, actually project was weird. But anyway, you don't take accountability for anything. You don't know how this, you don't know how whatever. And then so I was just like, okay, I understand everything you're saying. Nothing that has anything to do with today. So I want to understand how we got here today, right? Eventually they just say, I was like, so what's your problem then? Because I'm trying to understand what's the problem. What's the problem? What's the problem? What have I done? Because I don't even have anything to apologize for. Right now we're just listening to you rattling on and on about all the things that you think about me. You calling me an idiot, saying that I've regressed in my intelligence. It was just crazy. And this is normal, by the way, you guys. This is so normal that this happens to me and I realize why it is today. And it's to do with Jesus. We'll come back to that. So I was like, so what is your problem exactly? And then eventually they just said it, and I don't think they meant to say it. You're the problem. And I was like, exactly. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I'm just the problem. There isn't a problem here. There isn't something that I've done against you. Because I was like, tell me what I've done. Tell me exactly what I've done. Tell me what I've done. You're the problem. And I was like, yeah. That's what I thought. You just wanted somebody to take your anger out on today, and you just figured I would be an easy target because I will sit here and I will listen and I'll hear you out. Because see, the thing with me is, in a lot of situations, my logic overrides my feelings. So when somebody's accusing me of something, even if they're doing it like that, I will still hear them out to see, is there anything in there that I can take away from it? This is what the peoples didn't realize in the losing team when they were doing all this stuff to me my entire life, all in all the different areas, from friends to colleagues to family members to whatever. They didn't realize that in all of that, I'm actually listening and I'm actually taking on any constructive criticism, because I'm not like you. I'm not just emotionally trying to shoot out at everybody and bleed all over everyone. I'm actually trying to take accountability. So if you say something and I realize, you know what? That's true. I'll change it. And I'll remove all the other fluff. So that's what happened. You're the problem. And this, do you know why I'm bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because, and after all of this, in the past, that would have wrecked me. In the past, for days, I would have been upset. I would have been feeling ripped into, and it would have been hell. This time, I didn't care. I went back because I wasn't even working that day, or was I already finished work? I can't remember, one of the two. And I just went to watch The Sidemen Sunday because I hadn't watched it yet. And I moved on. I did not care. I was like, the only thing that's happened here is now you're going to lose out. because now I'm not involving you in anything. And now you've given me exactly what I need to not feel any ounce of guilt for my decisions going forward. And if anybody tries to defend you or whatever, they can also I'll get rid of them as well, to be honest. I don't care, because try me and tell me anything. Why am I saying this about me being the problem? Because this is what society is. I felt like I was living in a moment to remember for the rest of my life, and in a moment to take away so many lessons. Because in that moment, right, here's what's going on. It's like with Jesus. Why is it that Christianity is always the religion that, I just want to call it religion because it's not a religion, the belief, the truth that nobody wants to accept? People are like, oh, it's always Christians, it's always Christians. Exactly, because the same way that the people who don't believe in God, who I don't think anybody doesn't believe in God, I just think people have issues with God, but they actually believe in him. And that's why I'm like, just sort out your issues, like just talk it through. What's your problem? You see what I'm saying? What's your problem? And that's one thing about the world. You don't have a problem, or if you do, talk about it. And otherwise, if you're just a loser, then God is just the problem, and he is the problem for you, because he's the reason why. And this is not who I am in any individual's life. This is God separately. I'm just an extension of the experience of what the Lord goes through, because I thought this makes sense for Jesus. Because I'm always used to think, why were the Pharisees so obsessed with Jesus? Like, why are people so obsessed with Christianity? Like the Pharisees, when you read the Bible, right? Jesus isn't like busting up to the Pharisees to be like, yo, you guys, you're teaching the wrong. So many of the times that I remember, I can't say all of them because I haven't counted. So many of the times that I remember, it has been the Pharisees went to find where Jesus was to pick a fight. What has he done to you? That's what I'm saying. What was I doing? I was minding my business. I was minding my freaking business. Minding my business. And that's all I've done in my life. And I realized that's what was one of the most freeing epiphanies that I've had, is that the thing that offends people is that I mind my business. And people perceive that as arrogant. And I'm like, I perceive that as humility, because I realized that I cannot control anybody. You all showed me that. You all showed me that from how many times you were being controlling to me, and I'm not getting anything back out of you. No matter what I ever do for you, no matter what I've ever done, I'm left lost. I'm left with nothing at the end of it. So I realized, okay, I'm just going to sort myself out and focus on myself, because I'm the only person who I have any control over in any way. And it's not that I'm trying to control people, but you get what I'm saying. I realized that people will make you feel bad for asking them to pour you a glass of water. That's how I feel like is a standard of love that I've experienced, is that asking for a glass of water was like, I've asked you to give me both of your kidneys knowing that you're going to die. Like, that's how it is, right? And that's why I become self-sufficient, because I'm like, okay, you're saying that I'm asking for too much by asking for the bare minimum, and you should be given more than the bare minimum. Great. I'm going to figure out how to do everything by myself then. I'm going to figure out to do as much by myself, and the only thing that I've done wrong is give people another chance. And I'm living in the very, right now, the fact that I'm in this here town is because I don't want to say stupidly, because I needed to wake up a little bit more. I made the same mistake again. You think people got your back, but in reality, they ain't got your back. In reality, they just looking for an opportunity to take advantage of you when it suits them, and to have no accountability for anything they've ever done. And that's how people are with God. That's what I realized. This is why me and God were like this. Because when I understand how he must feel, because if I'm understanding that in my tiny, small human existence, where I'm also being the villain in other people's stories as well out here, I'm the sinner just the same as the next person. The Bible says we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I'm not better than nobody, right? I'm not better than nobody. Let's just be clear here, right? But there's certain things that I look back at and I think, I've always been a team player. Like, everybody can win together. I want to see everybody win. And I'm going to support everything everyone's doing. Just now, when I went out I had to post a package. I went out to post my package, right? Which meant I had to go out in daylight hours, which we all know I hate doing. And I bump into these two girls that I know from school, and I actually like them both. Anyway, and they've got a cake stand. Now, I'm not big on cakes. I know, controversial opinion. I'm not somebody who's got a sweet tooth at all. So I was like, I'm going to buy something. I didn't really want anything, and it's going to take a long time before I eat. I only bought, what did I buy from them? They had these brownies, whatever. But I did it because that's what you do when you're a supporter and you win, and you want to see other people win. And what I've realized is that's what offends people, because I've been thinking so much about so many things. I've been thinking that, the amount of times where when I've been doing something, like when I had my company launch event, yeah, I can remember so many times this happened to me. It's unbelievable with my own events. It'll be the strangers that I don't know me, just like right now. It's you guys who sit here and listen to me talk about whatever. It's you guys who put up with my upload schedule. You guys have had a far worse version of me than a lot of other people have. But it's you guys who are here. It's just like when I used to do stuff. When I'm planning the event, when I was planning my launch event for my company, I just graduated. How many months before? I graduated in July, 31st of July, I think it was. And my company launch event was like the 24th of September. So I don't know how I pulled that out. No, it was December. I registered the company in September. And then I had my launch event in December. I don't know how I did this, by the way, because this is insane. But anyway, leading up to it, I was praying. I didn't know where money was going to come from this. I didn't know how I was going to achieve that, because I had a lot going on. I had a whole bunch of acts, singing, dancing. We had a fashion show with a brand that I know, that I invited to come and do a fashion show with a full-blown catwalk. We had stalls for other businesses. Because that's what I'm saying. When I'm up and I have opportunities, I put my people on. So I'm like, tell me what you do, and I will come and like bring you through. So all these people that were there, including my current producer, who I'm literally going to see him perform today. And again, why am I going? Do I want to see people? No. But I got to support the peoples, man. It's what I do, right? So I've got all these things, and I've had to do a lot. I cooked the food. I cooked all the food for the event. I was up there at 3 a.m. I organized everything for my event. I organized it all, and I had to pray to the Lord. I had a full professional band that was there. It was a lot. And it was just crazy to me how when I had put the tickets out, I was thinking, oh, I know so many people. I'm going to sell out by so many people so easily. Let me tell you, it was not barely anyone that I knew. Oh, but did we sell out? Yes, we did. But was it barely anybody that I knew? No. And the people that I did know, some of them when they arrived, they started to say, well, I just like to support what you're doing. I'm like, you want to support me now? You want to support me now after I've put in the legwork? You weren't there beforehand. You weren't there supporting me on the other end, but you want to be there now that you've seen that I've done something. How does that work? I don't look left and right if people have done something. I'm like, I'm pulling the young people up. I'm like, can you do anything? Like, have you got any skill at all? Come through. Well, you're going to perform. You're going to do something. Come in, I put them to work. I put the young people to work as well, like the young teenagers. I'm like, get off the streets. Come on. We got an event that we got doing tonight. I need somebody to organize the chairs. I need somebody to, you know what I'm saying? And you give people opportunities and you give people whatever. And so I've always been like that. I was like that in school. In school, I never understood why me and my female friendship group had to be so vicious with each other, because we were all good at everything. And we were all good at like slightly different things. So like, for example, the easiest example I can give of this is, first of all, we were all vastly different looking, me and my friends. So there was no like competition. Like, you're not going to have one of us was your type and another one was your type, because we were all so different looking, right? We all completely different from completely different places around the globe. And we all had really different skills. When it comes to things like sports day, we'll do sports day. Each of us did a different sport and we all won. And we would all win. We got a bit of a reputation by the end that everybody knew that our girls were going to win everything every year. And we did. Right? We would win as a team. And that was always my thinking. Like, let's do this as a team. Let's do this as a team. So I would support what they're doing. I don't understand. And then I realized that it's that people aren't willing to put in the work that it takes to be a winner. People are so deluded that they think that attacking somebody else or attacking a winner is going to work out for them, or accusing somebody else. That's the difference between winners and losers. When you're in the kingdom of heaven, right? When you're in the kingdom of heaven, you hold yourself accountable. The first thing you do when you meet Jesus for real is you say, wow, I need Jesus. I need to change, and I need to become a better version of myself. Not, I'm going to stop pointing the finger at you and pointing the finger at you and pointing the finger at you. It's the opposite. And you see, again, it's the Pharisees and it's Jesus. Jesus again with the Pharisees. He's like, this is a gift for everyone. This is a gift for everyone. Me coming is for everyone. But you're the one who is so obsessed with being your own God. That's the problem. And then people will project that onto others. They think, oh, you're arrogant because you want to do whatever. I'm like, listen, everything I do, I put my people on. I take people's names down. When I find out anybody I know has any skill, right? Somebody that I know has just started a new side hustle, and I've already started to think, any person that I meet, I'm booking them for them. I'm calling them immediately. That's what I do. If somebody asks me, do you know so-and-so, like when I would be working in London in the entertainment industry, do you know, so I will always put my people on. Because winning is for everybody. My win doesn't take away from your win. Your win, and this is why a lot of people remain in the losing category, because they sit there. It's like the people in the world today, like, you're so lucky, like with the sidemen, you're so lucky to have made it with it. It's like, you're bitter. Go in and work at something for yourself. Spend less time. Like, unless you're here to just enjoy the vibes, like the rest of us, because I'm here enjoying the sidemen, because listen, I've been through a hell of a lot in my life, and I go through a lot, and I have to work damn hard, right, to be the person and the winner that I am today. So I love to sit and just waste 2 hours watching the Sidemen Sunday and all of their more Sidemen videos and all of their own channel videos, because you know why? It brings me a sense of peace and laughter. And whatever. If I was going to be bitter about how much money they were making, I need to be spending time worrying about how I'm going to make money for myself. I need to turn my jealousy into inspiration. And this is what I'm saying. People will rather sit and point and be like, oh, you're so lucky. The amount of times people say, oh, you're so lucky. I'm like, listen, my friend, lucky. Do you know, first of all, how hard I've worked? Second of all, how much the Lord has stepped in? Because like I said, it's always just from somewhere odd that something comes in to help me. Because it's like the Lord has to provide, because the people that could have been around. And you know, one thing that I've noticed more than anything on social media especially, have you noticed that it's always the groups of either friends or family that can learn to work together that thrive? That's why I like the Sidemen, because when they first started, Josh and Toby were already friends. Con, who's now like their head of production, has his own production company, had never even used a camera. Josh taught him how to do it. They work together. They set a schedule. They work hard as boys. When Ethan was having suicidal ideation, the boys stepped in to help. When people were worried about Harry's drug abuse, the boys stepped in to help. They are a team of people who look after each other. So many of these brands that you watch, so many of these influencers, they have behind the scenes, it's their sibling who edits their videos. It's their mum who's their manager. It's their best friend who runs their social media. It's their best friend they started a podcast with. They be having their people around them working together, and then it gets to be nice, because then they're all in their warehouse selling all this stuff to all of us over consumers online, and they get to hang out with their best friends all day, and they get to hang out with their families all day, and we're out here worrying about, oh, we don't have time for this, or we don't have time for that. Hello. I learned a lot in this life, and can I tell you one thing that I really found fascinating, was eye-opening for me growing up? When I would watch Shark Tank, because I love Shark Tank, I love watching people pitch businesses and seeing how better to pitch a business, what people's strategies were, what their ideas were, what their target market is, how do they go about, all of that. I like business. I find it really interesting. And I always found it fascinating that it shocked me that there will be people on these shows where you'll have like somebody's grandparent decides that they're just going to invest like 3/4 of their retirement on their grandson's skateboarding decorating business. Because the sharks would be like, yeah, so people come in and be like, yep, I invested 2 million. I was like, you invested 2 million? What the fuck did you get 2 million from? Right? Where the fuck did you get 2 million from? And that's how they do it. And it's the same with the Kingdom of Darkness, you guys. It's the same everywhere else. It's like, what is it about the world where, because with us as Christians, again, we should be working together. You see another brother or sister in Christ and they have something that you don't have, we should be supporting that. Like I said, that girl who's optimistic, thank God we have her, because it's never going to be me. Thank God we have her with her very wholesome videos, decorating cupcakes and all of that. I would decorate cupcakes. That wasn't a good choice. But you get the gist, right? That's not going to be me. So I don't know. I'm just frustrated so much about so many different things, because it's not just like I'm seeing it in the world. It's like, and I love that God does that with me, like where I'll see something happening in the world, but then I also experience it. And because I'm experiencing it, I'm realizing how ridiculous it is. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's for us to be here, like for us as the body of Christ to be here and not be where it's the same as like all these other groups that I've known my entire life, where we could be the fighting force if we came together and we united. But instead, we want to be pointing the fingers, being accusation, taking sides, allowing the enemy to come in and sow division, giving us these delusions that somehow you tearing me down is going to do anything to help you getting any further. And if it does today, I would promise you're going to pay tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the other side, look how well they're thriving right now. Kamala Harris was all there with Kirk Franklin. They were all dancing. I just cannot. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video because I've been talking for a long time. So there you have it. I don't know what to title this video, but the video is whatever it is. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of winners acting like losers, and I'm sick of people not realizing winning is for everybody. Jesus died for everyone. Jesus died for everyone. Anyway.